New at 6, an IRS agent said he didn't know that his in-laws were victims in an alleged tax fraud scheme he was investigating. Now one of the defendants wants to use that information to get his indictment tossed out.
All right, Queen City News Chief Legal Analyst Clive Rhodes to talk about all this and help us process this, because when I was talking to you off camera, I was like, this seems like a family kind of messy situation, but how did we get here?
We got here because a new agent, newly trained right out of the department's agency training program, trying to get experience, jumped onto this case without really knowing who was involved in the case. And when they brought him into there, they recognized that, hey, who are some of the alleged victims, and then who are some of the defendants? Well, the defendants were tax preparers, and the defendants had done a couple of tax preparations for his in-laws, the 2017, 19, and 18 preparations. And so what the U.S. Attorney's Office is saying is once they found out instantly, they told him at that moment to walk away. With the individual that filed the claim, one of the defendants is saying is, no, not so fast. I need to know exactly what happened. Tell me what happened. Was this person in the room? For how long were they in the room? Did they investigate?
When did they learn?
When did they learn? And was it instantly, as you guys are alleging? And he's not buying it.
Yeah, it seems like a very messy situation as you're talking about, whether part dumb luck or part just, whether it's
like I just randomly decided to jump into this case with my in-laws, and then, oh, guess what? My in-laws aren't going to be charged in this case also. So his in-laws won't be defendants, but they'll be key witnesses for the state. And so that's what the other individual said as well. He said, well, hey, you just happen to not charge these individuals that you're related to. He doesn't like that.
All right, so what comes next?
The next step is pretty clear. The judge has already made a determination that there was a screening off. And just like a legal process, if someone comes into my office and I have a conflict with them, I have a duty either to say, you know what, I have a conflict. I can't have anything to do with this, or I have to screen off this individual to ensure that, hey, I might not be able to work with you, but someone else in my firm can work with you. That's the same thing that the U.S. Attorney's Office is saying. Once we found out that this person had some involvement with a potential witness and or potential defendant or potential victim, we got them out of the case instantly. We screened them off and our investigation proceeded. So the next step is that individual wants to see, the defendant wants to see the trail. Show me all the tape. Show me the text messages, the emails that show you did the process to screen this individual off. The U.S. Attorney's Office was required to submit an affidavit that detailed exactly what happened, that screening off process. And what key for Dina's office was that they said, we did it immediately. We did it instantly. And so the guys asking, show me. The judge is required that they show them.
It seems like the agency would have had a little bit more oversight of the whole thing to understand exactly what was going on. Is there such autonomy when it happens to like this investigation?
The problem there is that when I looked at the affidavit and their motion, it said that the person that was in charge of the investigation sent out a client questionnaire, a potential witness questionnaire. I think it was kind of just like the perfect storm that they were, because it was two individuals, not just the one. It was two individuals that were new, freshly out of school, trying to figure out how to get experience, and you want to jump on any case that you can. And you have this person that's experienced that needs help. They're like, hey, I got these two new young investigators. I'm going to go put them to work. So it does seem like there may have been a step missed, but I do follow what Dina King and her office is saying, that, listen, we did everything that we are legally obligated to do to ensure that this investigation has integrity. Because what you don't want to have is the appearance that, look, we're picking and choosing who we are going to go against, and that we're picking and choosing folks that we're going to choose to prosecute, because that would be like former President Trump is saying, selective prosecution. You didn't prosecute me, but now you're going to prosecute the people that did my tax returns. That's a problem, and they want to avoid even the appearance of any impropriety.
Yeah, I mean, when you hear about this case, and I know it does seem messy, you're like, well, you should have known and all that kind of stuff, but you think about it, people with big families, a lot of times you don't know what they do. And then all of a sudden it would be like a police officer who is new on the force investigating a homicide that deals with one of his family members or a family member's, you know what I'm saying? It just can get messy, and I understand when she's saying protecting the integrity of the case, but it's just like, wow,
One of the things that we do in my firm is that we have a screening process. So if I have a new client, I'm going to say, well, who are you related to? What charges have you had in the past? And I want to know all those things, not just because I'm attempting to be nosy, but I want to make sure that I have not represented your brother in the past, did something else in the past that may put me at odds with legally being able to represent you, but also may put my advice to you at odds. And so that screening process, and they said they've done that. We'll see if the judge agrees or disagrees with what they show him.
Right. So that's why why he asked all those questions when you show up.
You got to have that, yeah. Chief Legal Analyst Clive Rhodes.
All right.